Okay, so to start this recipe, I'm going to start by throwing some poblanos whole into a hot pan with some coconut oil. I'm going to rotate them constantly or fairly often until they get blistered all over. Once they start to get blistered, go ahead and rotate them. So I'm looking about like that on all of them. And when you get to the sides, you might have to pick them up and hold them up on the sides. Just want to make sure you get it as blistered as possible all over. Once they get nice and blistered all over, I'm going to pull them out of the heat, throw them into another pan that I have a lid for. Throw the lid on it for at least 20 to 30 minutes and let it kind of steam, make the skin easier to peel off. Alright, while the poblanos are resting, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the pan that I cooked them in. I'm going to add a little more oil and one whole white onion. Get that stirred up and going. Once you get the onion stirred up and cooking, let it cook like that for a while without touching it. Want to get some color on them without getting them super soft. I'm going to get my tomatoes ready. For the tomatoes, I'm doing 3 cans of fire roasted diced tomatoes. And I'm just going to coarsely puree them. Once you see your onions starting to get some color to them, go ahead and give them a stir. I'm going to go ahead and add in my tomato sauce. Get all that in there. I'm going to give it another stir. And I'm going to cut it down to a low simmer and let it simmer until it gets basically like a tomato concentrate. Almost forgot. At this point, when you're bringing it to a simmer, go ahead and add a few pinches of salt. You can always come back and adjust it later. And if you don't have the patience to let it simmer, you could also cook it on a medium high and stir constantly. Take a lot less time that way. Once your poblanos have rested for a while, go ahead and get them and start peeling off all the skin. The steaming really helps a lot. I used to go into an ice bath afterwards, but I feel like this way is much easier. Go ahead and slit them down the side. And pull out all the seeds. And set them to the side. Get your poblanos cleaned up and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and take some Monterey Jack cheese that I shredded. Stuff it in there. You want it full, but you don't want to overfill it really. I'll do that to all 3 of them. Once I get them stuffed, I like to press them flat to where they'll stay with their seam facing up. And then I'm going to throw them in the freezer until I get ready to cook them. Alright, while those are in the freezer and my sauce is going, I'm going to go ahead and get 6 egg whites that I've separated. 6 egg whites whisked to firm peaks. You could also use a mixer to make it a lot faster. Once you get those to pretty stiff peaks, go ahead and add some salt and pepper to your egg yolks. Get those mixed up. Then you want to gently fold them into your egg whites. Try to keep from killing the foam too much. And softly fold it until it's all combined. and a tablespoon or two of flour. Almost forgot that. For this one, I'm going to get my oil going. I'm going to spoon some of the batter right onto the oil. I'm going to let that cook just a little bit before I add my pepper on top. Once the bottom's definitely got some texture to it, go ahead and lay that pepper on top. And cover it up with batter. Make sure you get it all sealed in there. Once you get that all sealed in there, check the side. If it doesn't try to tear up too much with you going under it, go ahead and flip it. A little messy, but go ahead and let it go for about as long on that other side. Once the bottom gets about as brown as the top, go ahead and pull them out of the pan. They still might be a little underdone at this point, but you're going to finish them off in the oven, so that'll be alright. So you can really make these ahead of time if you wanted, and throw them in the refrigerator until you're ready to serve them. Once the sauce has reduced pretty good, go ahead and add a cup of chicken broth. Stir that in, and then salt to taste. When you're ready to serve them, throw them into a 400-degree oven for probably 5 to 10 minutes till they get warm. Then go ahead and spoon some sauce onto your plate. And lay the Chile Rellano right on top.